Remember when TV was black and white and monsters were lovable? In 1964, the Munsters arrived in our living rooms and walked straight into our hearts. They looked like nightmares, but lived like your next-door neighbors. Frankenstein was the father, a vampire was the mother, and their son, a little werewolf. This wasn't horror. It was wholesome comedy with a monstrous twist. America was just coming out of the 1950s, stepping into a new era of television where suburban families dominated the screen. Amidst all the picture-perfect shows, the Munsters stood out like a bat in a birdcage. And yet, that's what made them so unforgettable. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the Munsters, the actors, the stories, and the legacy they left behind. A sitcom, unlike any other. When the Munsters premiered on September 24, 1964, few could have predicted it would become one of the most enduring cult classics of the television era. Set in a haunted-looking Victorian mansion at 1313 Mockingbird Lane, the show offered a clever twist. The monsters were the normal ones. Its concept was brilliantly absurd. The family consisted of characters modeled after Universal Studios' classic horror icons. Frankenstein's monster was the lovable dad. Dracula was the wisecracking grandpa. A vampire mom, a werewolf son, and a beautiful blonde niece who, by contrast, was considered the strange one. Despite its ghoulish cast, The Munsters was anything but scary. It offered satirical commentary on the American family, class, and conformity, served with deadpan humor and slapstick comedy. Fred Gwynne, heart behind the monster. Fred Gwynne portrayed Herman Monster with a perfect balance of physical comedy and childlike innocence. Born in New York City on July 10, 1926, Gwynne had a voice that could fill a stage and a presence that could warm any screen. He served in the Navy during World War II before enrolling at Harvard University, where he wrote for the Harvard Lampoon and honed his performance skills in student theater. Fred was already a TV name thanks to his work in Car 54, Where Are You? But it was the Munsters that made him a household icon. His portrayal of Herman was more than just makeup and costume. He turned a 7-foot-tall Frankenstein into an overgrown teddy bear. Loving, goofy, and relatable. Yet fame came with a price. Gwynne was heavily typecast after the Munsters, struggling to find roles that didn't require green face paint. But he found peace in another passion, writing and illustrating children's books. He published works like The King Who Reigned, beloved for their humor and wordplay. Fred passed away on July 6, 1993, just shy of his 67th birthday, but Herman Monster still lives on, smiling, stomping, and loving unconditionally. Ivon Middleton. From glamour to gothic, Ivon Middleton brought a level of Hollywood prestige to the Munsters. Born Margaret Ivon Middleton on September 1, 1922, in Vancouver, Canada, she began her career in the 1940s, appearing in adventure films and exotic dramas. Her breakthrough came in Salome, where she danced, 1945, and later she appeared in The Ten Commandments, 1956, as Moses' wife. Her casting in The Munsters shocked many in the industry, but she saw it as a way to reach new audiences and support her family after the death of her husband. On set, she was elegant, poised, and motherly, both on camera and off. Her chemistry with Fred Gwynne was one of the show's emotional anchors. Even in layers of gothic makeup and black and white costuming, she remained radiant. After the show ended, she returned to film and stage, and even appeared in horror roles that paid homage to her Munster legacy. Ivon passed away on January 2007, at age 84, leaving behind a diverse and powerful body of work. Al Lewis, Grandpa with a Bite. Al Lewis turned Grandpa Munster into a comedic powerhouse. With a cackling laugh, exaggerated gestures, and sharp one-liners, Grandpa was a fan favorite. Born April 30, 1923, in Brooklyn, New York, Lewis started his career in burlesque and theater. He had previously worked with Fred Gwynne on Car 54, Where Are You? Their comedic chemistry carried over seamlessly into the Munsters. Off-screen, Al was anything but fictional. He was a vocal political activist, opening a restaurant in Greenwich Village and later running for governor of New York under the Green Party. Al remained a beloved figure in public life until his passing in 2006. His ashes were reportedly stored in his favorite cigar box, a final quirky tribute to a life well lived. Butch Patrick, the child star who grew into the role. Butch Patrick played Eddie Munster, the werewolf son with a heart of gold. Born on August 2, 1953, he had already appeared in several TV roles before landing the Munsters. With his signature widow's peak and bat-themed pajamas, Eddie was every kid's spooky alter ego. But for Butch, fame came early and fast. After the show ended, he struggled with substance abuse and finding his place in the adult world. But he later embraced his past and used his experience to inspire others. He wrote an autobiography, participates in fan conventions, and even owns a replica Munster coach, the family's ghoulish car. Today, Butch is a proud torchbearer of the Munsters' legacy. Marilyn Munster, the normal outcast. Marilyn Monster was the family's niece, and their one normal-looking member. Played first by Beverly Owen and later by Pat Priest, Marilyn was sweet, kind-hearted, and often puzzled by how others reacted to her odd family. Beverly Owen, born May 13, 1937, left the show after 13 episodes to be with her fiancé. She later earned a master's degree in early American history and lived mostly out of the spotlight until her passing in 2019. Pat Priest took over the role and became a fan favorite. Born in 1936, she embraced her time on the show and still attends conventions to meet with fans. The legacy of the Munsters. Though it aired for only 2 years, the Munsters never really left. It was revived in multiple TV movies, including Munster, Go Home, 1966, and The Munsters' Revenge, 1981, as well as several reboots. It inspired toys, comic books, Halloween costumes, theme park attractions, and even a rock band named Eddie and the Monsters. In 2022, Rob Zombie released a reboot movie of the Munsters, bringing the Gothic family back to a new generation. What made it last? Heart, humor, and the bold idea that monsters could be more human than anyone else on the block. Final reflections. Beyond the black and white, behind the laughter and latex were real stories. Stories of success, struggle, reinvention, and resilience. Fred Gwynne found peace in books. Yvonne DiCarlo defied Hollywood typecasting. Al Lewis fought for justice. And Butch Patrick turned pain into purpose. They weren't just actors in makeup. They were pioneers in an era of change, using comedy to reflect something deeply real. So next time you hear the creak of that Munster door or the theme music that sends chills down your spine, remember, these weren't just characters. They were a family. Our family. Subscribe for more in-depth stories from the golden age of television. And in the comments, tell us, who was your favorite Munster and why?